Wash my clothes and make breakfast. My sister's voice shot down from the top of the stairs, sharp, commanding, like she ruled the place. Except she didn't. I did. My name's Riley Carson. I'm 29. And this is how entitlement finally met its mirror. She stood there, robe hanging loose, hair in a messy bun, phone in hand like a queen holding court. You heard me, Riley, she said with that smug grin. It's the least you can do, since I'm watching the house while you play boss lady at work. I almost laughed, because if I had, I might have ruined everything. She had no idea this was her final week under my roof. 6 months ago, I'd let Olivia move in, thinking she just needed time to figure things out. 6 months later, she'd figured out how to live rent-free, skip chores, and toss barbs about how career women forget their families. I turned, met her gaze, and said evenly, "If you want breakfast, Olivia, there's cereal. You'll manage." She scoffed. Wow, the attitude. Maybe if you weren't single, you'd understand. That one stung, not because it was true, but because she sounded just like Mom, who'd always treated her like the sun and me like the shadow. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. A text from Dad. "Family dinner tonight. Be there. No excuses." I sighed. Family dinners always meant the same thing. Olivia's stage, my silence. "Fine," I texted back. Olivia smirked. "Perfect. I'll tell Dad how you've been acting. Maybe he'll finally knock you off that high horse." I smiled, calm, knowing what she didn't. By night, the only person falling off any horse would be her. That evening, the sky burned a deep orange, beautiful but foreboding, like a warning wrapped in light. Olivia spent the afternoon strutting around the house in one of my silk robes, humming, pretending to tidy up. I let her. I wanted that arrogance untouched. It would make what came next hit harder. At 6, we drove to Dad's. The trip took 15 minutes, but the silence between us stretched much farther. Olivia scrolled her phone, smirking. "Just so you know, Dad's siding with me," she said. "About what?" "About you being selfish. You never visit. You never help. You think money replaces family." She spat that last word like it was poison, funny, considering every bill she dodged came from the same wallet she mocked. When we arrived, Dad was already waiting on the porch, arms crossed. "You two took your time," he said, flashing Olivia a warm smile before barely glancing at me. Inside, the table was set, Mom's old china, candles, the whole ritual of fake harmony. Olivia dropped into her seat beside Dad like a queen reclaiming her throne. "So," Dad began, "your sister tells me you've been distant, Riley. That you've forgotten your roots." I smiled tightly. "Did she also mention she hasn't paid rent in 6 months?" Olivia's smile faltered. "Wow. Bringing up money at a family dinner? Typical." Dad frowned. "You're her sister. You could help her out. Family isn't about keeping score." I placed my napkin on my lap, composed. "You're right. It's about honesty." And just like that, the trap was set. Dinner started quiet, the calm before a storm. Olivia filled the silence with her usual monologue, her modeling opportunities, her terrible landlord, that'd be me, her little digs disguised as jokes. Dad chuckled along, half amused, half unsure. "So, Riley," Olivia said sweetly, slicing her roast. "How's your little company? Still pretending to be a CEO?" "Still running it," I replied evenly. "We just signed a small contract, about 200 grand. Her fork hit the plate. 200 what? Thousand, I said, sipping my water. It's been a solid quarter. Dad raised an eyebrow. That's impressive, Riley. I didn't realize your business had grown that much. I know, I said softly. No one did. Not even the sister, who's been living off me. Olivia's head snapped toward me. Excuse me? I turned to Dad. Did she tell you she's been staying rent-free? Or that I've been covering her credit card bills after she maxed them out on fake brand deals? Her face drained of color. That's a lie. I unlocked my phone, set it on the table, bank statements, every transfer labeled, rent, Olivia. Dad's expression hardened. You told me you were paying her back. I meant to, she blurted. She said it was fine. No, I said calmly. I said I'd help until you were back on your feet. That was half a year ago. All you've done since is stand taller on my shoulders. Silence. Heavy. Dad leaned back, his eyes finally opening to the truth. Olivia's voice cracked, trembling. You're exaggerating. You know how controlling she is. I smiled faintly. If responsibility's controlling, I'll take it. But since we're being honest, maybe tell him what you did last week. Her eyes widened. Don't. Dad turned sharply. What did she do? I slid my phone across again, a photo of Olivia posing with my car, captioned, "Early birthday gift from my generous sister." Dad frowned. You bought her a car? I didn't, I said. She borrowed it, posted that photo, and one of my clients saw it. Olivia's face flushed. It was just for fun. Fun, I said softly. You humiliated me publicly, pretended I was your sponsor, and then called me your maid this morning. Dad blinked. Your what? My maid, I repeated slowly. He turned to her, voice sharp. You said that? To your sister, the one keeping a roof over your head. Olivia's lips quivered. I didn't mean it like. Enough, Dad cut in. The man who'd always defended her finally looked ashamed. Then, for the first time, he looked at me, really looked. Riley, you should have told me. I tried, I said quietly. You just didn't want to hear it. He didn't argue. Just sat there, a man realizing who'd actually been holding the family together. Olivia slammed her fork down, face red. You're twisting everything to make me look bad. I didn't raise my voice. You managed that all by yourself. Dad sighed, rubbing his temples. Enough. Both of you. But his eyes stayed on her. That was new. Mom walked in, drying her hands on a towel. What's happening? She's lying, Olivia shouted. She's trying to humiliate me. I turned calmly. Want proof? I showed Mom the same payment receipts. $1,200 a month, every month. Want to see where it went? Designer bags, spas, Miami trips. All labeled as bonuses. Mom's jaw tightened. Is that true, Olivia? She said I could. Olivia whimpered. She didn't mind. I didn't mind helping, I said. But you mistook generosity for servitude. Dad stood, his tone cold. You owe your sister an apology. Olivia froze. You're taking her side? Mom's voice trembled. He's not taking sides. He's acknowledging the truth. Olivia's eyes welled up. So, I'm the villain now? No, I said quietly. You just wrote your own ending. She looked lost. What do you want me to do? Start packing when we get home, I said evenly. You've got a week. Dad's voice was firm. She means it, Olivia. This isn't revenge, I added. It's rent and reality, finally due. For once, she was speechless. Tears trembled, but no excuses came. Dad exhaled. Pack your things. Riley's carried you long enough. Mom reached for him, whispering, Richard. But he didn't look away. She's just done what we should have done years ago, set boundaries. Olivia spun on me, eyes wild. You're turning Dad against me. No, I said gently. You did that when you decided I was beneath you. The words lingered like smoke. Then she stormed out, slamming the door so hard the frames rattled. The house fell quiet, just the hum of the fridge, the clink of cutlery, the tick of the dining room clock. Mom finally whispered, Riley, maybe let her stay until... No, Mom, I said softly. Every time I bend, she breaks me a little more. I'm done calling that love. Dad nodded slowly. She'll figure it out or she won't. But that's not on you anymore. For the first time in years, my chest felt light. I stood, grabbed my purse. I should go. I've got a long week ahead. Mom looked up. You've changed. I smiled faintly.
No, Mom.
I just stopped apologizing for surviving. Outside, the air was cool, crisp. My spine felt straight, my soul unbent. The week that followed was quieter, painfully so for Olivia. By Monday, she was half-packed, muttering about ungrateful people and family betrayal. I didn't respond. Silence had become my power. By Wednesday, she posted a cryptic story online. When people show you who they are, believe them. Fake sisters exist too. I didn't flinch. My phone buzzed nonstop with congratulations for the new business partnership, the same one she once called fake. Friday, Dad called. His tone softer. She's leaving tonight. Try to give her grace, okay? Grace doesn't mean access, I said. She'll have both when she learns respect.
He sighed.
You sound like your grandmother. Good, I replied. She never raised beggars. That night, Olivia dragged her suitcase to the door. Dad says you'll regret pushing family away, she said, voice shaking. I met her eyes. No, Olivia. I regret letting family push me down. For a moment, she looked almost human again, small, lost, unarmed. Then she turned and left. The headlights caught her for a moment, then she was gone. When the door clicked shut, I sat on the couch and exhaled. The silence that followed was the kind that heals. I texted Dad. She's gone. I'm okay. He replied, proud of you. It wasn't victory. It was balance. And balance felt better than revenge ever could. A month later, the holidays came. For the first time, they felt light. Soft jazz, cinnamon candles, quiet peace. Mom called that morning. Olivia wants to come home for Christmas, she said carefully. I smiled. She already has a home, Mom. Maybe she'll find herself there. That silence said everything. That evening, I hosted a small dinner, close friends, my mentor Naomi, warmth, laughter. Naomi raised her glass. To boundaries that become bridges, not cages. We all clinked glasses. I held mine longer, letting those words settle. Later, as I reviewed a new project proposal, the Restart Fund, a program for women rebuilding after family betrayal, I smiled at the irony. I had become exactly who I once needed. Just past midnight, a knock echoed through the hallway. Ethan opened the door, turned to me, and whispered, It's Olivia. She stood there, coat too thin for the cold, eyes red but not angry. I got the job you sent me, she said softly. I know, I replied. Congratulations. She hesitated, then whispered, I'm sorry, Riley. I nodded. Then start by being kind to yourself. That's where it begins. She nodded back. And for once, it wasn't an act. She turned, walked into the snow, her footsteps fading. I closed the door, leaned against it, breathing in pine and quiet peace. Some stories don't end with forgiveness. They end with understanding. And sometimes that's enough.